Okay. Hello, everybody. Here back at the Earth. I got a lot to talk about, but I was just talking about the pole flip and the geomagnetic reversal. And I was talking about applying alternating current to explain the pole flip alongside the observable features of the Earth. By taking Pangea Earth and throwing the moon at this, from the moon had to be orbiting a different celestial body, so there was the demand to balance potentials, making this a remote occurrence in our past, but ultimately it exhibits a frequency. Here in the geomagnetic reversal. And I'm going to talk in this video about why the sun's magnetic field is kind of different than what we saw over here in the Earth's magnetic pole flip, because the sun flips its magnetic field every 11 years or so, and nothing major happens. Like, every 11 years there's, if you go back over here to the pole flip, they're saying this is like 41 million or 41,000 years since the last time we even had a blip, and then it's like 7,800,000 years, and all this is like, it turns into millions of years, and then you got this big, okay. But anyway, so in the sun's magnetic field, something different is happening. With the Earth, this does not appear to be related to, these don't appear to be related, is the point I'm making here. But we're going to take this time here and we're going to apply this to the concept of a frequency and explain how we can derive voltage out of that equation here. So I'm going to go over to just show you. I've worked with this stuff primarily, so these are the ranges that I'm familiar with. This is the rate scale that we're looking at. This is how big the sun is in relationship to Earth. I got more. This is the concept of alternating current. I'm going to come over here. This full cycle is considered to be 1 hertz if this happens in 1 second. So in 1 second, that would be up here and then down here and over here. And that would be 1 second is 1 hertz. Voltage would be equivalent. That's 1 volt. If that is, but if this were still 1 second, that would be 1 volt, 2 volts in 2 volts in 1 second. So 2 volts is equivalent to 1 hertz is the takeaway there. So what we're going to do, we got this, but we're going to come over here to this number, and then we're going to go over to our trusty calculator. We're going to take the number 1. We're going to divide that by the number of seconds in a pole flip. The sun's pole flip, that is. So you have 1 divided by 60 is the number of seconds in a minute times the number of, is it 60 times 60? I think so. Yeah, number of minutes in an hour times 24, which is the number of hours in a day, times 365. Normally I don't do this, but today I will do 0.25 to make it more accurate, because it really doesn't matter. Times it by 11 years, and this is the number you get. It's really small. It seems that way. Now, this would be equivalent to the voltage here. So you take that over to our equation. If you want to get watts, and all we have is this number here, it seems like that's not going to do much to this, because I can come over here and I'm looking at this. Let's just take one of these numbers. 200 watts I'm familiar with. That's about the size of what comes into your house. So we'll come over here, we'll multiply this by 200, and yeah, it's still not that much. That would be the number of watts that you get out of this equation. So we're going to get rid of that, because that doesn't do much. But then we're going to scale up to the size of the Earth to think about this. So we got this. This is almost the size of a thumb. And you come over here, and they tell you if you get 1 thumb per year, you take this distance. That's like 200 million thumbs. So you can take that number. We'll take the number 200. Multiply that, because that's the number of amperage in this. We're going to multiply that by 200 million thumbs. And we have 115 watts. Holy cow. We come back over to alternating current, see how this checks out. Come over to Nikola Tesla, and it seems to work. We go back over to the scale of the Earth, and that's what happens when you apply that current to, you get 200 million thumbs is the point that I think I'm trying to make there. But when you take that, that's about 200 million thumbs, and you come up here and you look, that's the Earth. So there's your 200 million thumbs. You apply it at this scale. That's the sun. You get 109 times you can fit the Earth across this diameter. That's not even the circumference. And for our chemistry folks, this is cool. You can come over here and you can see how many amps there are, or how many electrons there are in an amp. So you can take this number and you get like, this is how many electrons you have here. So you can come over here and you can actually do that, and you can see how many electrons, just to give you an idea of the scale that we're working on, because you have a lot of electrons in your thumb, I guess is the point. And okay, so while we're looking at the sun in relation to this concept, I don't know if that actually proves anything, but when you come over here to space and you have a pole flip in the sun every 11 years, there's probably going to be a need to balance the charge between potentials along here. So that might actually help regulate that equation. Because you got to figure this point out here needs to balance with this over here, which needs to balance with this over here, and this over here, and this over here, and this over here, and it keeps going. And all this stuff has to balance as this is spinning around. And technically this kind of comes back to the concept of a salt bridge. I don't even know if I still have that up. Man, come so far. This would have never happened if I didn't notice the pole flip. I was just trying to explain the scars. But I'll talk more about this stuff later because I haven't really gotten into space, but this looks like a single point charge. And it's like these, the center of each galaxy has to balance with one another. They're showing this is actually an experiment William Bostich did like in the 1950s where he could recreate a plasma. This might be recreated from his original experiment. I don't know, but you can do this in nature, and we see it in nature, so it makes sense. Then you come over here and you get like these kind of go along strings of plasma, so you might have like in between the stars this is balancing, but in between the galaxy they're also balancing. This kind of takes you back to the concept of a salt bridge where it needs to balance from here and out here, and these stars kind of get in the way, and then you get into the, if we have a positive sun and you need to borrow some of the free electrons from that to bridge the gap between stars, or you know, it starts to make sense when you actually apply the physics to it, I guess. But I guess I'll talk more later. We'll keep Nikola Tesla around for now. This gives you an idea of the scale. 200 million thumbs. We'll remember that for next time. I'll make more of these later. Alright? Take care, everyone. Bye-bye.